Hi everyone, welcome back. I'm Di, and today is the start of my diary entry for the week of October 16th through the 22nd. Today is Thursday, October 20th, and this is the second take that I'm making of this because apparently my camera didn't want to record the first one. So it is Thursday. It's about 3:30 in the afternoon. I did take the day off from work because work has been really stressful lately, and we are doing dress-up night at the Manga Club meeting, and I didn't want to have to worry about getting stuck in a project, having to stay late, because I have been putting in many after time hours, and I don't get paid overtime, so there's that. But I have been putting in a lot of overtime hours, and I didn't want to get caught up in a project, get off of work late, have to worry about getting everything ready and all of that. So I just took the day off. Plus, I've got a lot of days I need to burn because I don't go through my vacation days like I should, which probably would help my stress, but there's a whole nother ordeal with that and my boss not liking me to take days off, even though I am allowed to do it. I mean, it's part of working full time. But yeah. So anyway, this is my costume for tonight. I just put on some lashes. I have my little witch hat fascinator that my mom made for me last year. And I have my Hocus Pocus I Smell Children t-shirt on that I got from Etsy last year. I'm also wearing an orange skirt and my Halloween hand knit socks. And that is what I'm wearing for dress up night tonight because I don't have any other costumes to wear. But yeah, apparently all of the employees at Barnes & Noble are doing dress up night, or at least that's what I heard. But yeah, it should be fun. So what have I been reading this week? I've read the Manga Club selection, so that is Ghost Reaper Girl Volume 1 by Akisa Saike, and Set Off of the End Volume 1 by Takaya Kagami, art by Yamamoto, and storyboards by Daisuke Furuya. I will be talking about both of these volumes in the Monochrome Manga Club series First Impressions video that I always do after the Manga Club meeting, so this should be up on Monday. So it'll be up before you see this video. So if you're interested in my thoughts on these, definitely go check out that video. And then as far as the other volumes we read, Volume 7 and 8 of Demon Slayer Kimetsu no Yaiba by Koyoharu Gotoge. We are continuing our series read of this. I am really enjoying this series still. I think I told you last time that I'm at the point now where I am like really looking forward to the next volumes. And so these two volumes were definitely really interesting, really entertaining. There was a lot of action, lots of fight scenes. Something surprising happened that I didn't expect this early in the series. And yeah, I just really enjoyed this. Looking forward to next month's 2 volumes. And then we have Sailor Moon Eternal Edition Volume 7. This is by Naoko Takeuchi. Still not enjoying this one. Especially with some of the things that happen in here. I've mentioned to you before that I do not enjoy Chibiusa and how she feels about Mamo-chan. It just really grosses me out. And some of the things that are just said between Chibiusa and Usagi and Mamo-chan, it's just gross. There's just incestuous tones on it, and it baffles me as to why this is so popular with all of that stuff happening. And so that like ruins everything for me. And there's just so much of it in these volumes, and I do not like it. The more volumes go by, it just keeps coming back as a recurring theme, and it just is not for me. Plus, in this volume, we meet another character, and that character kind of gives, like, pedophile vibes. It's kind of gross. So, you know, it might just be me, and with everything that I'm seeing, I don't think it's just me, though. Like, I don't see how you can't see the incestuous undertones and the pedophilic nature of that one character. But yeah, no. I probably give this one 3 stars again. You know, the enemy thing is interesting. I always enjoy the fight with the enemy and seeing how the enemy is going to attack. I enjoy the other Sailor Scouts. We have a separation of Sailor Scouts now between, you know, in these later volumes, where some of the Sailor Scouts are elsewhere, and then you have our, you know, normal 5 Sailor Scouts who are in high school together. And we do check in with both sets. But, yeah, 3 stars. I ended up giving Demon Slayer, I believe, 5 stars each. So, yes. That's where I am with that. I also finished The Fourth Closet, which is the 3rd book in the Five Nights at Freddy series by Scott Cawthon and Kira Breed-Wrisley. I don't have that one with me. I left that one at home. But I really, really enjoyed this last installment of the trilogy. There was just so many things that clicked for me. It was full of action, lots of suspense, lots of things going on. I told you before that I don't enjoy Charlie's character, and in this book, we get a lot more of what's going on from the other friends in the friend group, from their perspectives, and so that was even more enjoyable for me because I do not like Charlie's voice. But the lore of this world is just so interesting to me, and lots of things that happened in this book, it was just like, wait, what just happened? It was really, really good. And for a like young adult type book, I don't get that kind of reaction to young adult books very often. And so this one just really worked for me. And it's been a really long time since I've marathoned a series. And this series just made me want to marathon it. It was really, really good. I ended up giving this last book 5 stars on Goodreads, though in actuality it's more like a 4.5. We're going to touch again on Charlie and her voice. Charlie comes in more at the end of book 3, and her voice irritated the heck out of me. You know, for someone who is supposed to be in college, she comes off like a whiny brat. And I know that a part of how that's presented to me is why I think that way. The voice the narrator decided to use was that of a whiny brat, and it wasn't enjoyable for me. And so that really like colors my kind of impression. But I think what I want to do is take a little bit of a break and then read through these books physically, because I listened to all 3 of these books on audiobook, and with the way that Charlie is narrated, it affected my thoughts on what had happened. But I think if I read physically the books, I will be able to form my own voice for Charlie and actually see if how it's coming across to me on page actually sounds like that in my own head. But in order to do that, I do need to give it a little bit of time because this experience is just so fresh for me right now. But it was so enjoyable. So I have heard that these books are not canon to the series. I've read some of the other reviews saying that Scott Cawthon has said that these are not canon. But I have also read people saying that they don't understand how this cannot be canon because of some of the things that are mentioned and things like that. I don't know, like, the other like lore of this world, though I'm super interested now, and I'm glad that I experienced all of this book series without knowing like the backstory or the original story of the world, because now I can go and listen to that, research it, you know, hear people talk about it, without this experience being tainted for me. Because I think if I had known about all of the lore before I had gone into these books, I probably wouldn't have enjoyed them as much as I did. So yeah, I'm definitely going to be looking more into the lore of this world. I had mentioned my daughter listens or watches a video gamer called Vox Akuma. He apparently has a really in-depth video about the lore of this world. He knows a lot about it, so I'm gonna go watch his video sometime in the near future. And it's just so interesting to me. This last installment was really, really good. Like I said, lots of action, lots of wait, what happened type moments, lots of suspense, and yeah, I really, really enjoyed it. So definitely going to be a reread series for me. And I don't know what else to say. It was definitely one of the most entertaining things I've read in a very long time. And I'm glad I marathoned through the whole thing, because I think if I hadn't, it wouldn't have been as enjoyable for me, if you know what I mean. But yeah, I enjoyed it. As far as what I am reading right now, I started Crave, which is by Tracy Wolff. Crave is the Camp Castle Dracula book for their team book. So I'm stealing because I'm Camp Sunnydale. To steal, if I finish the book, I'll get 100 points. I have not yet read my group book. My group book is over 500 pages and there's no audiobook available. So I opted to steal Camp Castle Dracula's book instead, because I'll get 100 points for that. Plus I have access to an audiobook copy through Hoopla and an ebook copy through Kindle Unlimited. So I'm able to combination read that, and it's going to make it easier for me to get this done by the end of the month. Whereas my group book, which is Hocus Pocus, I have the book, but I don't have the audiobook, and it's not available anywhere. I'd have to buy it. Don't really want to do that right now, so I opted to steal, because reading my group book, I'd only get 50 points. If I steal it, I get 100 points, so it's more attractive to steal the book. But I've stolen a lot from Camp Castle Dracula, because obviously I've read a lot of vampire books this month. So I'm doing really well. I'm feeling really good about my reading this month. I'm enjoying a lot of the things that I've read. And yeah, it's just been a really great experience. I'm really looking forward to next year's round of Camp Crystal Lake, because this was just so fun. All of the movie watch-alongs, and we're doing a Buffy watch-along, the whole series, and people just talking to each other. This is probably the Discord group that I've chatted with the most, and I don't even chat a lot, but yeah, really, really fun. And so that's what I'm reading right now, is Crave. It's a vampire boarding school type book. Definitely in the first chapter gave me those atmospheric vibes of Twilight, because our main character is moving from her hometown of San Diego to Alaska, and Alaska is where the school is located in. And moving from a warmer climate to somewhere that is super cold, high altitude, just being the newcomer, it really gave me those atmospheric vibes of the beginning of Twilight, when Bella first gets to Forks, and it's dark and gray and gloomy, and the weather's different from what she's used to. And yeah, it really felt similar. But that was about the only thing besides the whole insta-love, and I don't feel like that is a spoiler. That kind of comes up in chapter 3. But I think if you know anything about the summary of this book, there's insta-love, and how kind of similar to Twilight it could be. I don't see very many similarities besides the generalities. But I'm still really enjoying it. It's really entertaining. I'm about 12 chapters in, and it's really going fast for me. So I don't think I'm going to have any problems finishing this by the end of the month, but I think that's all I have to catch you up for right now. I am going to pack up and then we're going to head into the mall. We're going to do a little bit of shopping, get a little bit of dinner. I need to go to Bath and Body Works because I got a shipment of Christmas candles in because I wanted to use my birthday gift before it expired. And so when the candles came, I unscrewed a single wick of Twisted Peppermint, which I absolutely love, to smell it. And when I unscrewed the cap, some glass shards fell out. And I'm like, no. So I'm going to go get that exchanged. Like I said, we're going to go grab some dinner. We're going to just leisurely walk the mall until the meeting. We're going to do our manga club meeting. I'm probably going to do a little bit of book shopping, and then that'll be it for the day. So, I guess I will pack up right now, and I will talk to you later. Okay, so I went to Bath and Body Works and did my return, or exchange, and so I got some other ones. This is my exchange. So I got the Twisted Peppermint. And then the fall candles were on clearance, or 50% off. So I got 3 of the Spooky Cider Lane in the Halloween packaging. Really like that fragrance. And then I got 2 for 22 single wicks. So I got Bright Christmas Morning, which this is Ripe Red Berries, Blood Orange, Crisp Apple. Thought that one smelled really good. And then we got Champagne Toast. And look at that cute white seal. You don't know, white seals are one of my favorite animals. So I had to get this one. This one is Bubbly Champagne, Sparkling Berries, and Juicy Tangerine. This one is really good too, so that's what I got. And then I picked up a 3-wick in the Sweet Cinnamon Plum. So this was the only one they had left, so I just picked it up. This one is Juicy Plum, Cinnamon Apples, and Ground Clove Buds. I thought that one smelled really, really good, so I got that. And then we picked up some pocket backs. So my daughter really likes the gingham. So we got her 3 of the pocket backs because they were 5 for $8, I think. And then I got a Bright Christmas Morning for myself. And of course, a Twisted Peppermint. So that is my small haul from Bath and Body Works. Now we're going to have some dinner. And then we're going to do a little bit more shopping before the manga club meeting. So I'll catch you in a bit. Hi everyone, it is Saturday, October 22nd, and I am here to wrap up this diary entry. So since I talked to you last, I have read a little bit more. I have a little bit of a knitting bag haul to share with you, a little bit of knitting to share, and that's pretty much it for this week. So let's get into what else I have read so far. So since I talked to you last, I have read 4 more volumes of Devil's Line. So I do need to read 14 volumes of Devil's Line to finish my TBR game for this month. So I have read volume 8, volume 9, and I really, really love this cover. Volume 10 and volume 11. So these 4 volumes were very much relationship drama centered. So not particularly interesting to me. I gave all of these volumes 4 stars on Goodreads, but they're more like a 3.5. yeah, I think this series would have been better off if we just mainly focused on our main characters, like these two characters and their relationship. But within this series, we meet up with a lot of characters, and a lot of them have like relationship drama. It's just getting to be too much. Like, I don't understand why we're focusing on that. Like, in these 4 volumes, what happened to, like, what's going on between the CCC and the Devil's Line agencies? I mean, we get a little bit of stuff that's happening right now with, like, the police force and little repercussions of things that have happened in volumes previous, but a lot of these 4 volumes is just relationship stuff. How characters feel about each other, and then when those characters tell the person that they're interested in their feelings, how that is taken by the other. And we've got characters who don't know what their feelings are. They don't know how to explain what they're feeling. They don't know what they're feeling. And I don't know if the mangaka is trying to get at maybe including some different types of sexualities in their storyline, and that's why we're getting that. Or if it's just to fill up space, which I wish it wasn't there if that was the case, because it's taking a lot away from the storyline for me. Like, I'm more interested in the political, like, stuff that's going on, and the CCC, and the Devil's Line, and the 2 agencies, and all of that. I'm not really interested in the relationship stuff. And so, yeah. I read these 3 volumes yesterday when I was having my all-day migraine, which wasn't fun. I'm just kind of going in and out. But, yeah, it's a lot of relationship stuff. We get a little bit of a backstory of one of the other characters we come across from the CCC, which I thought was interesting because it kind of explains a little bit of not only backstory for this main character, but a little bit of why he is the way he is as well. Though I will say, this volume, incest, there's mention of it. There's no, like, on page or anything like that. But if you read the story, there's incest implied in there. This volume, sexual situations. So, I have told you that this series is ages 13 and up. So this volume says 13 plus, this volume says 13 plus, this volume says 13 plus, this volume says 16 plus. Good job, Vertical. But if you are saying that a series is appropriate for a 13-year-old, you can't say that it's suddenly not appropriate when they get to volume 11. You should be aging this up from the get-go. Like, as a series, it should be rated, not as a singular volume. I don't agree with that. And plus, I've mentioned this before, I don't feel like even the first volumes are appropriate for a 13-year-old. So I definitely feel like this series should be rated 16 on up for the entirety of the series, because that is the, like, minimum age that you need to be, at least for me, my thoughts, to read this entire series through. You should be able to pick up a volume 1 of a series, see that 13 and up rating, and be able to say, okay, this whole series is for ages 13 and up. I mean, I get that, you know, with publishing and everything, you don't know where the mangaka is probably going to go. But once, you know, publishers get material that say, okay, this series is now has, sex in it. Let's rate it up. You need to go back to the beginning and rate it up. Like, I don't know. I know it's difficult because you don't know all the time where the mangaka is going to take a story, but this series has been out for a while, and to me it should be rated ages 16 and up for the entirety of it, because there are too many things in here from the get-go that a 13-year-old would not be able to think appropriately about. And especially with the sex scenes, sexual scenes in this volume. Yeah. So, it's okay. I'm hoping we get back to more of the political stuff. I think we may, just with how things in volume 11 ended. There's definitely movement towards that, so I'm hoping that that is what's going to happen. But, yeah, it's a lot of human relationship stuff, and not enough of the, like, mystery and intrigue and everything that I more enjoy from the series. So I'm a little bit disappointed. Had I gone into this thinking that it was like a relationship story with a little bit of intrigue and murder mystery and things like that, I probably would have a different mindset about this. But I went into this thinking that there was going to be this big clash between these two agencies, and we've got these two people, one human, one half vampire, who are trying to be together but can't because of how society views vampires. That's the kind of story that I was kind of thinking this was. And while there are elements of that, we also have just normal human relationships, normal humans who can't figure out their feelings for each other, who have fallen for maybe their partner and they don't know how to feel about that, or they don't want to take that next step because it would change their relationship. We've got other human and devil partners who are not sure if they want to be together because of the stigma. And that's kind of not the series that I signed up for, I guess. I don't know. I mean, I do read a lot of shoujo manga. I read a lot of manga that's like high school romance, even like adult romance type manga. But when I'm going into a series that is like that, that is what I'm expecting. And I think for me, I was kind of disillusioned with the fact that I was going into this series thinking that we were going to have this big human versus vampires kind of fight, and then we've got an agency who's trying to kill off all the vampires and things like that being like the main focus of this story, and it's not. So I've got 3 volumes left, and I think, like I said, there's only like 2 more volumes of like story line for the series, and then I think volume 14 is short stories. I still haven't confirmed that, but I'll know it when I get there. I'll definitely be finishing those 3 volumes before the end of the month, so I will pass that on my TBR game. Speaking of the TBR game, I have my things here. So that's for Manga Series 10 plus volumes. I had Used Book, which I did already read. I read Frostbite for the Vampire Academy number 2. I still need to read my Humble Bundle selection. That, I did choose another manga, so I should be able to get that in. As long as I read 1 volume from my Humble Bundle library, I'm going to count that as passed, because I'm still working on Crave by Tracy Wolf. I got to chapter 17, and so I'm moving along slowly with that one. So I'm hoping to finish that one by the end of the month. But that's all of the reading I've done so far since I talked to you last. And as far as knitting goes, I worked only on my Crunkled Ghostbusters socks. So let me pull this out here. So I was here where these vampire lips are when I talked to you about this sock last week. And so I have gone ahead and done this much more, and I put in the heel flap last night. So now I'm working on the gusset decreases. You can see I just have that one row. And so I'm hoping to get this done before the month is over. But yes, it has not been a knitting heavy week for me. It just has not called to me, especially with the heat. This week is supposed to be a lot cooler though, so I'm hoping that stays. The temperature just doesn't seem to want to settle right now, so we'll see about that. It's about 68 degrees right now. To me, it doesn't feel cold, like I'm getting a nice gust like from the window here, but I'm not cold, so yeah. Anyway, I did pick up some bags from one of my favorite bag makers on Etsy for knitting bags, and that is Otterly Adorable Knits. I threw her business card out, of course I did, because I don't really need it, but here is her logo. Otterly Adorable Knits. She's on Etsy. So this is one of the bags that I got. She was having a 50% off sale, and so there were a couple bags that I really wanted, so I did pick them up during her 50% off sale. So this is the medium size zipper bag. This is the sea turtle design. And so like I said, I really, really love her bags. It's got the pull here, it's got the handle. And then this one is blue on the inside, and then it also comes with this ring on the inside. Box bottom. Really, really love her bags. I normally pick up the extra large size, and then I have one sock size bag, which is kind of her small, I guess. Yeah, it's her small zippered bag. But this is the medium, and it's a nice size bag, so I picked this one up. And then I also picked up her large size bag in the sharks. Yeah, this is just called sharks. So it's all kinds of different sharks on it. Really, really love this bag. Like I said, this is her large size. So if you want to compare between the large and the medium, it's about an inch, I would say. So that's the difference between the large and the medium. And so this is the large. This one comes with a white inside, and then you've got your little O-ring here. And yeah, so she also has her little Otterly Adorable Knits tag. So I picked those up. I also got one of her yarn cake holders. So this is the small size. This is just to put your yarn cake in. And I've never gotten one of these before, but this seems to be a good size for the typical yarn cake that I use. So I got one of those. And then I also picked up 2 stitch marker sets. So this is obviously Cookie Monster. She had a Sesame Street bag that I really, really wanted, but I abstained. But she still had these markers on her 50% off sale, so I decided to pick some up. You can choose your findings, so I picked half ring, half lobster claw clasp. And so this set had Oscar the Grouch, and that's just on a O-ring. big bird. I don't know how well you can see that. It is very sparkly, but this big bird on an O-ring. And then this is Grover. On an O-ring. And then the other two are on lobster claw clasp. So it's Cookie Monster and Elmo. So I'm really, really happy with those. And they come in this little container that you can keep them in with the fabric top. So they're nice and secure. And so, yes, I'm going to really enjoy using those. And then I also got the sharks, because why not, right? I've got this whole set going. So this one only had 4 in the set. So I had 2 lobster claw, 2 ring. So I've got the hammerhead on a ring. I've got, what is this? I would say this is probably the great, no, I'm not sure which shark that is. It's got a bit of a longer fin on the top. Thresher, maybe? Does the thresher shark have the longer tail? But their snouts are kind of short. I don't know. If you know what type of shark that is, let me know. I'm pretty sure this is the great white. And that's on lobster claw. And then there's the whale shark. Which is on a ring. So, yeah. Really, really enjoyed those. And so that's pretty much everything I've got to share with you. I'm not quite sure how long this entry is going to be with the B-roll that I had from before. But yeah, a little bit of a different diary entry for you this week. As far as next week, I'm going to be focusing on finishing all of my reads for my TBR game and whatever else I need to read for completing my Camp Crystal Lake readathon prompts. So I'm feeling okay right now as far as my reading goes. And yeah, so let me know down in the comments below what you've read over this last week. Have you made any interesting yarny purchases or bookish purchases? I would really love to know that as well. If nothing else, and you'd just like to let me know that you are here, if you could leave me a Sharky emoji down in the comments below, that would be greatly appreciated and would really help me out. And that will do it for me today. So I hope you're all doing great. I hope you're all safe and healthy. And until next time, take care and smile always. Bye.